Hey, friend. Welcome to the Inimitable Podcast. I'm your host, Jermaine Harrison. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, mentor, visionary, transitional life coach, and of course, I am a neurospicy black sheep. Inimitable means something that is so unique, it is impossible to duplicate. This pod is for the neurospicy who are building mental wealth without a blueprint. Thank you for coming, and if you're here, it's because God needed you here. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I'll see you soon. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Listen, today's a good day. Now, I know you are not used to seeing me on a Tuesday by myself. I am usually with my others on the Let This Mind pod. But right now, we have a special episode because you know what? Next week is Thanksgiving. So obviously, we had to skip that Thursday. So I'm giving you a 2-for-1, a double header. You're welcome. Anyway, so today, my esteemed guest, as you can see, we got letters, y'all. Letters. Now, you know you made it when you got letters on both sides of your name. Hello. Mm-hmm. So, but let's see. Let's give a background. I've known Danielle for years now. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've always seen her from a distance. I don't think we've actually had many conversations. We've talked. For sure. We haven't had many conversations.
Yes.
But as I'm, watching her in the transitions and the transformations that are happening on her Facebook page, I said, oh, excuse me. And then today I found out she was a doctor. And I said, you better put them letters on this here page, Miss Ma'am. You better put them there. So as you can see, I have Dr. Danielle Eddins in the building. Welcome to the pod. So glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
Now listen, as most of the times when I'm about to do a podcast episode, I meet with the guests prior to so they can kind of get a feel of how I do this. When I say she's great, y'all. I'm excited for this because there's a lot of gems you're going to get from this one as well. You've gotten gems the first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm,
so keep on watching. But this one right here, there's a reason why she's a dog. So Danielle, bring us through your story because something about going through things, some of us just kind of stop, we get stuck, we get frozen into something. I'm good here. I'm not going past it. Yes, but you somehow made a transformation. How did you do it? Tell us the story.
The short answer, my sister, is God. But I will take you guys on that roller coaster this evening. Again, thank you for having me. So my story can get a little bit messy, and I'm going to warn you guys right now. Excuse the kids in the background. There are 4 of them. But I will let you know that it's going to get real fast. And a lot of my story doesn't make sense. I should not be sitting here this evening. I should not still be standing. I should not be in my right mind. But God's good to me. So my story, where do I even begin? I guess we can start with the last few years. So I have been an educator most of my life. I've always loved working with children. From the time I left high school, I think I initially wanted to be like a pediatrician or something, but then it switched to wanting to be a teacher because some of the teachers that I had in my courses, I really loved them and I loved what they was able to pull out of me because I was that quiet student, that shy student. It's not that I didn't know because I knew a lot. I knew a lot, but I just would never speak. And sometimes if you don't say anything, they won't know that you know anything.
Right.
So I had some really wonderful teachers that were always, very encouraging to me. And those were the teachers that I focused on. Those were the teachers that I was like, you know what? I remember them. Even in my adult life now, I still remember them. And I would hope that my boys can experience teachers like that because not all teachers are good teachers. It's a very very, very important role. I don't think people understand. I feel like if you're only there for the money, you don't need to be there, because that is an important role. Like, you are on assignment because you are shaping the generation that's sitting in that classroom. And if that's not what your intention is, got to go. Target's hiring, McDonald's is hiring, go somewhere else. But anywho, so I went through my undergrad, and so I went right from high school to undergrad, and I've always been a lover of learning. Since I was a little girl, my mom said I used to be walking around as a 2-year-old saying, when people say, "Oh, she should be a model," they would be like, I would say, "I'm going to college." Didn't know what college was. She always says that to me. You've been saying that you're going to college, and she was a baby. And I'm like, really? That's funny. But I've always been a lover of learning. Somewhere between like that undergrad time, I ended up working at an early intervention place, and I met this little boy, and he had autism. And I never had heard of autism. That was back in, it had to be like 2010, 2011. I never heard of, I didn't know anything about it. So I met him, and I just fell in love with him. And then I'm like, I had to buy every book. I'm such a reader. Like, my library is insane. It's insane. I have so many psychology books. I love to learn. I love to learn about how people operate, because that's what my first degree was in, is in psychology and brain development. So I love all those things. Had no idea that years down the road, we're going to get to that. Had no idea that all this other stuff was going to happen, but we're here today, and I am in my right mind.
Amen.
So I found a love of autism and decided to go in for teaching, and I wanted to do special ed. And then, so I did that, got the bachelor's, went on and taught. And right before I was going to do my master's and go into the public school district, like, I had my MTEL scheduled and everything. It was on the plan. And I found out I was pregnant with my first son. So it stopped me right in my tracks. Moving on a few years, I still worked on my master's, but at the age of 2, my oldest, we ended up realizing, I figured it out when he was like 13 months. I could tell that something was different, very different in his development. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with my baby boy, but something is. And he was diagnosed shortly after, and he has moderate to severe autism. He also was diagnosed with a global developmental delay, which means that he scored very low in all developmental domains. So that was hard, very scary for me. I'm like, I didn't know what to do, but I threw him in early intervention faster than you could blink. And I just did it. I let my teacher hat jump on, and I just moved. Fast forward all the other parts to today. So as I said, you'll hear the babies in the background. I am now a single mom of 4 boys, and believe it or not, all 4 have a disability. And it has taken a lot of Jesus, a lot of prayer, a lot of therapy to get myself into the headspace to really understand that this is not your fault, Danny. You've got this. You can feel the feels. You can have the tantrums. You are well within your right to freak out most times. You're within your right. I know in society it seems that it's like, especially as moms, especially moms of color, hush, you had them, your responsibility, deal with it.
Yeah.
Stop talking on social media. Stop. Keep it to yourself. Too bad. And no, we've got to really issue some urgent compassion into the world, because people are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was one of them. I almost didn't make it out. And I say that with so much seriousness. And you would never know, because anytime someone sees me, I'm like this. I'm like this, and I was
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely not okay.
Mm-hmm.
By myself, transitioning into single motherhood, all of that. It just was a lot. It was a lot. You're dealing with school districts.
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with police being called on my son, my oldest autistic son, for having a meltdown. I've dealt with them losing one of my boys. They didn't know where my son was for 3 hours. I've dealt with ignorant teachers doing shady stuff. I've dealt with people just disregarding me because they didn't think that what I had to say was of any value until they learned of my background. When I'm speaking to the teachers, when I'm speaking to the school district, I don't ever say I'm Dr. D. I don't ever say I even went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I observe and I watch. In the second that I say, they put out their hand and shake it, Dr. Danielle Eddins. Oh, Dr. Eddins, whole demeanor changes, and I always get on them that say it should not matter. You should not.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Your education, yes, I worked for it, okay, but that doesn't matter because my word was valid before any of these letters.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have to speak up for anyone who has a child, or you might be in special ed or anything like that. Speak up, and you're going to be the oddball out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're going to kind of try to bump heads with you and try to they're going to downplay it. There's a lot of gaslighting in those systems, a lot. And I said, I'm one of those people. I'm like a little gnat. I will try you, and I will try you at your own game, and I will win every single time. Because I'm not doing it to be seen. I'm doing it because my children, autistic or not, neurodivergent or not, learning disability or not, they deserve the same education as anyone else.
Absolutely.
Okay? All of those kids do, and I'm not having it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been fighting back and forth. So I'm just Mama Bear first. Everyone knows me as that. I'm very quirky Mama Bear. I love my boys. I have all boys. They are my heart and soul.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in the trenches here. It's hard sometimes, but you know what? Those little boys are going to be grown men one day. And if I have to cry tonight to make sure that they are self-sufficient, compassionate, and they can stand up for themselves tomorrow, then that's fine. I will choose it every single time. I'm not afraid of systems. I'm not afraid of someone telling me no. I'm not afraid of anyone telling me that I can't. I always say, and people look at, they don't know what to do with me because I say all the time, oh, I'm a walking stereotype. I'm a Black woman, a single mother. I have a house full of kids. People think the worst of me when they first see me until I start telling them what the accolades are, and they, woof, woof. She done burnt me.
Yeah, said, for real.
You need to respect me at face value.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up everything that you said because, for one, there are a lot of women, and I have conversations with women. They are fearful to create, or procreate, if you will, because the way that we have to fight to get our babies to get the proper resources and everything that they deserve.
Yes.
It's insane, right? And then the ones who do have kids and the ones who do have Black babies, especially Black boys, I have to be extra skillful and make sure that their needs are met. Now you add on the fact that they have a neurodivergent disorder. Now you're just like, oh, this isn't easy. But I don't know if the people in the comments and the people watching have caught it. But y'all know we love Jesus over here. And one thing that stood out to me, okay, come on, hearts, iPhones and pads and things. One thing that I picked up on is God had you preparing for having autistic children before you even got married and before you even thought about, okay, let's have kids, right?
Yes.
And that to me is so powerful, because God, even when we don't know it, God
Yes.
prepares us for the next thing, or the
Yes.
thing that is next, like 5 things over, right?
Right.
Because it's so hard to do this alone. And it, like you said, it's not like you asked to be single mother. It's not like you asked for, was it 2 out of the 4 to be on the spectrum?
Yes.
That's heavy.
Child. I'm just as shocked as everybody else. Little do they know. How'd that happen, huh?
He did know what he was doing. He did know what he was doing.
Yes.
And this is the part that I love about God, but then I also love about you as well, is that there's not a lot of people who step up to the plate and try. Because I've worked with young people and I've worked with DCF and foster care systems and stuff, when you have more than one that is neurodivergent, they're done. They're like, take. If you don't take one, take them both, because I'm not equipped. I can't do it. But you, my love, was able to say, these mine. So we're going to figure it out, and we're going to keep going. And again, this is why you had to be on the pod, because it's one thing to be a neurospicy individual. To raise neurospicy boys?
Oh, Jesus. That's another story. That's another poison. Here, boo-boo. That's another something. There you go.
It is. And so the reason why I titled this The Wings of Transformation is because, the caterpillar and how it goes from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It needs its wings to make that transformation, right? And that process is painful for the caterpillar. It's painful. It has to isolate itself.
Yes.
It has to be in like very tight, confined spaces in order for it to produce. And sometimes being a neurospicy individual, isolation isn't a stranger to you. It happens way too often. So tell me your story on being a neurospicy individual and how hard maybe maintaining relationships has been, or just living and navigating this world.
Yes. So I have always considered myself to be very, people's like, you're not straight. I'm like, and you's a lie. So that's okay. You's a lie. And I know you a lie. So I'm just very, I like things my way, but it's to a point of, it's very distinct. And I am excellent at pissing people off because I'm honest and I can't help it. My energy is a lot. Everything about me is a lot. And, as I reflect back on my younger years, like the teens and early 20s, I didn't know what to do with all of that because I'm like 5'11", so I'm already tall. I've got all this hair on my head. People already, when they see me coming, they're like, they either give you the side eye or they're like, oh my gosh, she is so cute. But most of the time, especially when you're grown, they're like, we don't like her, which is probably why I felt a better connection in the classroom to children. They always love Miss Danielle. Love me. The parents just love me to pieces. I've had parents pull their kids out the classroom when I left the job. Pull them out. Like, no, they following you, sis. I'm like, you can't do that. But I would say I actually found out recently I was diagnosed with ADHD in my adulthood. I knew something because I wish I could explain how my brain be going. I wish, but I can't. I could express, but I have learned to love that. I have learned, honestly, I feel like there's a lot of people walking around with undiagnosed something. A lot of people don't even know. And another thing, I was reading an article about it, is that trauma can pretty much induce you into things like ADHD because it changes your brain chemistry, which by the time I finish talking to my therapist, I don't mind sharing because I think it could help somebody. They diagnosed me with complex PTSD. And she was like, you've got not regular trauma, you've got generational trauma, you got all type of stuff that you have dealt with. So looking at me, it doesn't make sense that I can still hold a smile on my face and mean it. And mean it. But just being neurospicy, it definitely, I do not keep friendships long at all, because the misunderstandings happen so quick. And then most adults, they don't know how to communicate and say, you know what, you said this, Danny, or you did this, and I didn't like it. Instead of just telling me, because I'm very honest, I'm honest. Instead of just telling you, they kind of do their own thing and make their whatever they want to think about you in their head, and they just go with it. And now Danny did it. Oops. They did it.
Not the oops.
Whatever. I've got a list of those, whatever. But I mean, I would say, like I said, back in teen years, early 20s, that was disabling for me. You know, I didn't like it. I'm like, oh my gosh, how come people don't like me? And I wanted so bad to be liked and to be seen that I was really looking for attention in really unsavory ways. We'll just say that. And
it's unsavory for me.
I was keeping people around that I knew were toxic, you know, and going places that I knew I didn't like it, or doing things that I knew I wasn't into just to keep them around. Now, at 34, if you don't want to be around me, I ain't even coming to look. Someone's like, you are really nonchalant. You really don't care. No, I actually care too much. Just the difference now is that I choose me first, okay? And however you want to feel is how you want to feel. How you feel ain't got nothing to do with me. Go seek Jesus. Go seek a therapist. Go tell someone who cares. Go find Oprah, because I don't care. Not anymore. I can't, because that Karen almost took me out.
Yes.
It almost took me out, because I have such a strong compassion. But my issue, and also I think that's a neurospicy thing, I want to people please so bad, and I need everyone to be okay, that I'm last. I'm always last. And if you are pouring and you have nothing else at the end of the day, that's detrimental to you, to your mental well-being, to everything about you. So I had to make a choice, and it was hard. And I mean, when I say this year alone, I have lost so many people. I done been blocked so many times because she acted funny and she talked about Jesus too much. I said, if you only knew what I've been through, you would be glad that I'm mentioning the name of the Lord, because I would not be here today. We're going to just say that. I should have been actually insane. Like, I mean, seriously, with all that I have to deal with, and in dealing with it by yourself, being misunderstood in your marriage, being misunderstood in your family. I don't really get along with not that I don't get along. I don't have a close relationship with just the direct ones that I grew up with. But other than that, they're there. But that's it. That's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. And it's been like that all my life.
Yeah.
I'm out here fighting. I mean, most people that have supported my businesses, that support any of my visions, have always been either people from church or people that know me from the community. But I've been in hiding for the last few years because I've been mom and caregiver. And a lot of people don't know that there's a straight difference. They're not the same thing. And a lot of people, oh, Danny, you know what? You always saying that, you know, but I'm a mom too. I said, but you're not a caregiver as well, because you could be a mom, but not a caregiver, which most people are. And when they show up at the same time, you had better call on a higher power. You better, because it is a lot.
Yeah, sure.
And the clock there ain't no break. There's no break time.
Yes, motherhood is 24/7. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're saying this, because the point of this Inimitable Podcast is to give voices to those who are often misunderstood and or silenced. Yes. Because we're so misunderstood. We are so looked over, kind of looked past. Yes. Because we're just trying to operate in the lane that God gave us, right?
Yes.
And it's always misunderstood by those who are so close to you. They're like, I don't
Right.
understand why you do this. I don't understand why you talk like this. I don't understand why you respond like this. And it's like,
Yes.
if I knew too, I tell you, I don't know either because I just know this is who I am, right?
Yes.
And being able to acknowledge that I'm different and that's okay because I'm tall too. And that's probably why we got along because she only about 1.5 inches taller than me. And I used to hate it. I used to be like, Lord, I can't be both big. I can't be tall and fat. Like this don't work. Like maybe one or the other. Like I can't do it. Right?
Yes.
Because just in stature alone, that can be off-putting. And so I felt like because of my stature, I had to do an added something. And I was like, girl, at some point it's not gonna be so. Because like I say all the time, if God did not apologize for making me this way,
that's right.
How dare I apologize for the way that I am, whether you understand it or not.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
I can't not be me. Like I have to be this authentic self, right? And so hearing your story about, the marriage and having the children and being isolated, the losing of the friends, what role did God play in taking you through these transitions? Because again, in other spaces with other people, let them lose some stuff. They're like, God, who? God didn't do nothing for me.
Right.
God took them with, and I don't. Who? God, what? No. But yet, your commitment to Him seemed to increase in those moments. And so, like, how'd you do it? How did He help you do it?
So I had to, and I'm still working on that because I have such a trust issue that even with trusting God, it's something that I'm always, okay, I trust you, God, but I'm very hesitant because people have let me down. I mean, people that you would never expect to let someone down, they've done it. People will swear up and down in your face that they're not going to whatever, and then they'll still do it. Mm-hmm. So God, for me, he's, first of all, he's so patient because I've got to be like the most aggravating human. Because I'm coming with 1,001 questions all the time, but it's kind of hard to explain, but I know that it had to be him. For one, with my healing journey, God definitely walked me through it. I did not do that by myself. And I would have to say that was the fastest healing process I've ever had to go, because I don't really feel anything about my divorce. I don't feel anything. I was just telling my therapist about that. I'm like, is that bad? Have I snapped? Is that normal? And I realized that's God's peace, honey. He did that thing suddenly, and he did. Boy, you're naked. But he walked me through, and he, in all those steps, he showed me more. He showed me, it's been me holding you up, Danny, the whole time. It's been me helping provide for the kids the whole time. All these extra people were just there for a time and a season, but they were never meant to stay. And I needed you to get that. I needed you to rely. I needed these people to be removed so you could see, actually, I can do it. And actually, I've been doing it. And actually, I do it well. I do it well. Despite, because people will try to hold you captive, but all those people that I don't even really consider that they're lost. They're not lost. I let them go. And I'll tell anyone that I let them go. They can say what they want. No, you were let go, honey. That's what that was. But God just, even in the small, you want to talk too?
Right. He's like, I got something to say about my mama too.
In the smallest things, even on the times where I'm struggling, he'll send someone to inbox me and say, Danny, I don't say much to you, but I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard. That God showed me that even though the people that are for me, they just don't flash it around. They don't need to, because that's not what real care is. It's not, I care, I care, I care, I care, I care, I care, I care. No, when someone is doing that, usually it's like it's like the equal to love bombing. They have another motive. They have another motive when they have to keep saying it to you. You know, there's a lot of people. God had to show me, you do have support. You are valuable. You are changing lives while you are on the floor. Because I promise you, I spend so much time bawling like a baby, and that's probably why my relationship with God now is a lot better, because I have sowed in tears. I have sowed in the lack of sleep, because I need to make sure, oh my God, Zamari, oh my goodness, he ain't got nothing on. Oh my God. I need to sow in tears, and I need to sow because I need to make sure that my kids are good. And you never know what's gonna happen. So God definitely showed me that it had to be me. And I say it all the time. All these kids just talking over me. They're gonna be just like me. Hear that? Something that thank you. Something that I would say all the time is that everything I go through is on purpose so that I can be in purpose. Though it hurts, and it does, you guys, it hurts. It hurts when you feel like you're not seen. It hurts when you feel like you know, that no one cares, or that, you know, people that should care or should be supportive of you, or should, I mean, I have a whole slew of family members. They know that I'm dealing with a whole bunch of disabled children. That, I mean, there's no question. No one should have to ask me, do you need help? Of course I flipping do.
Yeah.
Common sense, but I know that ain't that common, and we're going to leave that alone. But you think it don't hurt when they're going to help someone else, but they're going to overlook, oh, you got it. You got the degrees. I said, but while I got the degrees, I got that to keep myself busy and sane. Yes. Where is everyone else when I'm broken? I mean, broken.
What do the degrees got to do with being a mother? And
please, can we please, like, I don't know. I'm waiting for the answer, but that's what they tell me. Oh, you're smart. You got it.
Oh.
I'm so glad that's how parenting works.
But this is the thing about, first of all, being Black, yes. Being female, yes. Being Black female, yes. Why do people think that we can just conjure up some magic potion on not feeling and not dealing and just keep moving? Like, no.
That's right.
If you take away every degree, take away every certificate that I have, every ounce of knowledge, you're left with a person. And this person feels. These degrees don't take away feelings. These degrees don't make me superwoman. No. So how in the world do you expect me to show up differently just because I know something different? Like, as a clinician, and I talked about this last week with Julie, is that people assume, oh, you're a therapist, you good. Yeah. Because you know if there's a coping skill, you got it. Yeah. It's like, do I know to do the things? Sure. Right. But things impact me differently. Like me talking to a client, and that's not my story. Yes. Yeah, I can tell them how to get through it. Mine's is different. My pain is different. That's right. And it's like, just because there's letters doesn't mean I know how to do it any better than the next person, or does that mean I'm inclined to do it better than the next person. It's just, that's right. Like I keep saying, and I've been saying this on each episode, get back to the humanity of people. We are human first. Yes. Yes. Everything else second. Right? And if we can't appreciate that, yes, we are human. Hey, Marjorie. I remember she's a twin. Yes. But something that you said, and we dare not brush over it, is the complex PTSD. Now,
Oh yeah.
PTSD is tough. Complex PTSD
Something else.
means there's some added stuff, and this trauma right here is like pacted. Like if you're pushing down things into a jar or into a box, it's packed together, which means the amount of time and the amount of energy it takes to separate that is a lot more difficult than the average trauma. And so if you put that with the ADHD, with all the things you're going through, that's heavy. That's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
And you, Miss Ma'am, managed to get a whole doctorate in spite of how. I mean, we know Jesus definitely helped you out, but how did you have this fortitude to do it? Because I just started mine, and I'm like, all I'm dealing with is Jermaine. I ain't got 4 little ones calling me, Mommy, or just screaming because maybe they're not, verbal, and I'm just like, no.
I got you.
Found a way to be productive in this isolation.
Yes,
that's powerful, Miss Ma'am. That is powerful.
Thank you.
I applaud you, man.
Thank you. It's heavy. It really is. And my 5-year-old just poured out my whole pot of coffee, but we're going to keep going. Oh. I just heard it go down the drain, but that's okay.
He said, you don't need this. You don't need it.
All right, we good. Thank you. You're right. You always looking out. Thank you. But I would say, for me, something that kept me in school was, for one, which is probably not the best motivator, but it worked for me, is that I sometimes can care so much about how people perceive me. And at the time, I wasn't even a single mother yet when I started my program. Mm-hmm. But I was doing it because I originally went into the program because I wanted to be able to give back to other parents. And I was getting frustrated with, like I was talking about, with the school district kind of not taking parents seriously. So I said, well, I'm just going to get the highest degree I can. You're lucky there's not something after this. You lucky, because I'll go get that too. And when I come to the table, oh, you better listen to me, because I'm going to make sure I wear that across my shirt. Like, bam, I'm not playing no games with you. I wanted to make sure that I was that force for parents to rely on. And I still, working on schools, working on all of this, but I promise you, there's many businesses coming. I just haven't said it yet, because I am not going to stop until everyone is understanding that you're going to stop fooling around with these kids. Okay? Mm-hmm. You're going to stop. I'm not asking any questions. I'm telling them they're going to stop. Yeah. I think, but going through my program, which was hard, the same way you guys hear the boys, I have had to do like dissertation practice to recite it, and the kids are screaming. I remember my youngest was a newborn on one of my practice, and he was screaming bloody murder while I was trying to present. And I just raised, I started getting anxious because anxiety started to snatch me up quick. And I said, you know what, anxiety, go have a seat over there with them kids. And I raised my voice and I said, y'all already think I'm loud and black, so let me just prove you right. I am very loud. Don't tone police me. I'm going to say what I want, how I want, because what I have to say matters. I have spent so much of my life under a rug, and I let people run all over me. Not that I had nothing to say. I was talking the mess in my head, but now it has come out. I have an advocacy spirit, and it's strong. It is very, very, give it to her. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. I had to do this degree because because of those stereotypes. I'm like, I know people, and people have said that you need to be worried about just taking care of your kids. That's why your husband is gone. I said, oh my Jesus, you don't even know, honey. You really don't even know, but go ahead and assume if that's what helps you sleep better at night, you do what you do. Go ahead. It doesn't bother me at all. People have this concept about Black women and, well, you should have stayed, and like I had people from the church was saying, oh, I could have counseled you, you could have came to me, was like going at me. I said, you guys are training young women to stay in toxic, abusive, mentally disabling relationships and marriages. I don't believe there's any God in that. I am here to tell anyone, if it's abusive, if it's wrong, if it don't feel right, if you don't align and it really can't be fixed, get on, go, you will be fine. It just did not work, it didn't work anymore for me. Okay.
Yeah.
And I no longer feel the need to explain that anymore. And we've got people that are now out of my life, but a lot of people were just counting on me to lose. She's too disorganized. Oh, she be on there and everyone just loves her, but they don't know her. I said, you know what? Allow me to just help you. I don't mind getting online. Give it to them. I don't mind getting on here and putting myself. This is what God has been trying to do with me for a while. I didn't want to do my YouTube. I'm not consistent with it because I have to be vulnerable like this. And that's something that I've been fighting because I'm like, people already think what they think. And I had to learn God is still working on me. So what? They're going to think what they're going to think regardless, honey.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter, but you need to do what I said. You need to be obedient. And I called you for a reason. It don't matter if you don't know the reason, do it. So I'm a fighter, and I'm no longer a fighter with my fist. That don't work no more. We can't be bopping people over the head with no skillets. Not okay, people. But I fight with my spirit. I really do. And I have like that, when I stick to something, I have that faith that is so just out. And it might be the ADHD. I don't know. I have this thing that if I stick to something and I see that thing and I'm like, I want that, and I am not leaving this earth until I get it exactly how I want it. And that's how I am. Give me that. That's your brother's book. I need that. Thank you. Thank you. We can't have that. That's his therapy binder. So I'm going to use my degree for good. And I want to speak up for all those mothers, all those, especially because, which this can be a whole nother topic, but that in the with dealing with mental health and Black mothers, I have been threatened with children's services so many times and threatened to snatch my kids for asking for help. That's what took me so long to get a therapist. And I want to be the voice because people don't know their rights. And it's time for people to stand up. You don't have to let people run over you. I got sick of it because people are suffering. Their kids are suffering. People are really dealing with a lot, and it's not okay. And I'm here to say it's not the heck okay. And it's okay. They don't have to like how you say it. Usually they got a them problem anyway. People dealing with all type of hell. And then they want to bring that to the front of the classroom with the foolishness. I'm not here. I'm here to call out the foolishness.
Come on.
And I'm here. They see me coming with my big old self. And they be like, who does she think she is? Your mother. But anyway, I'll behave. Let me calm down.
Listen, but no, this is absolutely necessary because I'm more of the passive type. I'm not as aggressive or assertive, I guess is a better word, because they think they're aggressive all the time. It's like, I'm assertive. I'm not as assertive like that. So like, I might take a Dr. Martin Luther King approach. We need some Black Panthers and some Malcolm X.
Stone them all.
Because listen, it's a shame the amount of fight we have to put up with just to get help. This is why a part of why I do what I do. Like I am learning in the work the schoolwork that I'm doing now. Community psychology and community counseling is so necessary because the ones that God is saying to me, they're not coming to an office.
That's
They're
right.
not coming with their insurances and being like, hey, I need help. I need to go to them. And I need to show them your life matters whether you have
Yes.
insurance or not. Your
That's
life
right.
matters whether you can get to me or not. I'm going to find a way to reach you. If it's through these podcasts, if it's through the groups that I'm putting together, if it's through church events, if it's through retreats, whatever it is, I need to find you and I need you to know that you matter. And
That's
I'm
right.
not going to throw you away because you don't know how to parent these kids. Who has the blueprint for this? Tell me. Like, where's the blueprint that says you started off right. You got the marriage.
Yes.
You're doing all the things,
Yes.
but then life happens. And then they're like, oh, that's okay, but we got a blueprint for this. The theme of this Inimitable podcast is the neurospicy who are trying to build mental wealth without a blueprint.
Yes.
We don't have blueprints. They don't make blueprints for us.
Right.
And even if they built the blueprints, we're so neurospicy, we probably wouldn't follow it anyway. And so,
nope.
And it's hard to do things without a blueprint.
Yeah.
But this is our lives, and all we know to do is just do. Like,
Yeah.
I have some friends that are very neurospicy, and it pains me to see them trying to navigate this world being misunderstood. And then internalizing that as I'm the problem. Like, it must be me. It has to be me. Like, am I communicating backwards? Am I speaking a different language? What is it? Because I know I'm saying what I'm saying, but they're not receiving it.
Yes.
And so it's like I'm the problem and I'm the broken one and I'm the one who has to do all of these switches and changes just to be understood or just to be heard. And it's like, do you not know that there is another form of trauma, y'all? Trying to push and force someone to be something that they are not for your benefit.
Right.
You are but one person. Now imagine 7 people who think just like you that encounter this one individual that forces them to change 7 times for y'all. But nobody is willing to do the work to get to know them. Nobody is sitting down like, tell me, Danielle or Dr. Danielle, why and how did you get here? What was all of this complex PTSD about? How are you managing the divorce and having 4 neurodivergent sons? How are you doing it? And the oldest one is 9 and the youngest one is 3?
Yeah. So ain't much space.
No.
They pretty much the same age, okay?
Practically, you're working with quadruples right now. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. But nobody takes the time to be like, I want to understand the world through your eyes. Instead, people are so like not flexible where they're not willing to find out like this is who this person is that I deem friend or I deem lover or I deem mom or I deem sister. And it's like this is why these conversations have to happen.
Yes.
People need to understand there's not a lot of us out here that know how to navigate these difficult spaces and still make it out on top.
That's right.
Some people give up because they're like, I'm too misunderstood. All this pain for what? All of this trauma for what? And nobody is helping me reach the places I need to reach. So we thank God that he exists. Because he's that type of God that's like, other people will not. And I know something we said in the practice round was, if our discernment isn't on, we'll take everybody and assume everybody is friends.
Right.
But then what I said is even nocturnal animals are drawn to light.
Yes.
And so that means if you are light, you will get a little bit of the good and a little bit of the bad.
Yeah.
And if we're not careful, we mislabel and then keep people around that should not be there. And you said that. Just
and now you the liar.
Being
now
alone.
We're not going to touch that. Now you the one with the problem, and you're the bad person because you didn't meet to, their need. You didn't fill their need. It's like, oh, okay. Makes you
Hello.
feel worse. Because it's like, that's all you came
Hello.
over here for?
People are
Was to get something? Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
But we are almost reaching the end. So let's wrap this and bring this full circle. So given all the things that you've done, you are a business owner,
Yes.
a doctor, and you're developing something that is in the works.
Yes.
Let the people know all of the great things that your hands have done.
Oh my goodness, I do so much. It's the brain, it's always going. And I'm I love creating stuff. I am working on a micro school. So what a micro school is, it's pretty much translated into little school. So it'll be smaller class sizes. And I want to do it. We're going to be inclusive, but I have a heart for the neurodivergent. I really want those children, those students that have autism, that have ADHD, other learning disabilities that may not fit the, not the criteria, but they're just not doing well, their best in public school. So I'm working on that, and it is the most brutal process. But like I said, I see that thing dangling, and I am going. I don't care how many people tell me no and that they're not going to help me, that they're not going to give me the grant. That's fine. Your no can be, I know 20 people could tell me no, but guess what? When you get that yes, when you finally get the yes, it'll be worth it. I'm going to keep going. I don't care who supports me. I'll be asking people to help with this, and they just be looking at me. That's fine. God told me to do it. I'm going to do it. But yeah, I am doing that. I'm working on some books that I have. I have a lot of, there's so many books in me, but my focus goes. But you guys can look out for so many books in 2025. I'm launching them because I need everyone to hear me. I spend so much time not saying anything. It's time to speak up. It's time to speak out. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that they're scared. They don't know what to say. It's not always fear. They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And they need somebody as rowdy. I got like that from experience. I've not been like this all my life, or maybe I have. I don't know. I think I was one of those kids that used to ride downstairs on skateboards, but we're not talking about that. But anyway, wild thing. I want to speak for the ones that are unheard, unseen. That's the whole point. That's my whole mission for the school. That's my mission for everything that I do, because I know what it's like to be overlooked. I know what it's like for people to look you eyeball to eyeball and not see you. I know what that's like. And one of my favorite quotes that I had, someone had used in one of the programs I worked in, and I never forgot it. I'm going to put it when I get my school building, in Jesus' name. I don't care what, I ain't got no credit or no coin. I don't. So I don't know how I'm getting this building, but God, I have the vision. He's making the provision. I promise you, y'all going to see me walk into a school building. Don't know how, I have no idea, but I believe it. And the quote says, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible." I love that quote. I don't know who said it, where it came from, but I love it. I think it's so beautiful, and it really wraps me up, because people will make you think that you're unworthy, that you're not enough. No, they're not enough. You're exactly who you need to be and how you need to be. You don't have to change for people. You really don't. We all already, I feel like we're all made with the tools that we need. Everything that we need, we already have. And all you have to do is just say, you have to stop fighting. And we're not even fighting people in this world. We're fighting ourselves. We're fighting ourselves. The biggest giant that you will ever face, the biggest anything, that is you. It's you. And once I talked to that little girl inside of me, once I talked to the anger and everything else in me and made her sit her butt down and let her know, get a lollipop, get a cookie, a Pop-Tart, a donut, do something. Sit down, sis.
Yeah.
Now I'm functional. I'm all right. I got that. I can do this. We're going to do this. I have a little temper tantrum. I told y'all I have a little temper tantrum sometimes.
They happen.
But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You got to keep moving. That's the goal, to keep moving.
Come on.
Live a little longer. There's so much with life. There's so much with life. And people are watching. People tell me that all the time. I be watching you all the time. And I'm looking like, no, you're not. I didn't even see your view. They're watching.
They are.
They're watching.
So, yes. Again, it gets real churchy and preachy in here. Yes. I know. Something that I said in the practice part is the enemy doesn't want you to live out your God-given purpose. Because he knows if you operate at even 90% of what God has done for you, that is a whole threat to his kingdom, and he can't get no inches in there. If he can get you operating at anything 50 or less, he's like, okay, I got room. Because now I can plant seeds of doubt, and I can plant some people, I can send people their way that's going to make them distracted, or that's going to get them to doubt themselves, or that's going to be like, God didn't call you, God didn't do this for you. And so if you don't live out your God-given purpose, we're not doing ourselves justice, and we're not doing the kingdom justice. Regardless of whether it makes sense, a lot of things that God asked people in the Bible to do made no sense. Not one. Noah, why are you building a whole ark and it didn't even rain a drop?
Right, it's just as dry outside, just as crispy.
Yeah, like where was the water coming from, Noah? I don't know. I just know this is what I was told to do. He probably looked a whole fool building. But if you have to build and look foolish, but you know that God asked you to do it,
come on,
do it. This right here, this stuff that I'm doing, I look a whole fool. Jermaine, how's your mortgage getting paid? I don't know.
I know that's right.
I don't know. Jermaine, where are you going to get the funds to run your programs? I don't know. Jermaine, where are you going to get the funds to run your building and your retreat center? I don't know. Here's what I do know.
That's right.
That if God called me, and if God you said, if God gave me the vision, he is going to do the provision for the vision.
That's
now,
right.
Everything that I'm doing, every day I'm waking up scared. Like, God, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to see what you're going to do with what I'm doing, because I don't know. I don't know. But one thing, I love science. Now, I'm a real nerd for some nature. I remember I think I was talking to my best friend about this last week. I said, you know what amazes me? A small little seed has the properties to be a big old tree that can last hundreds of years. There's a small little thing right here. And when you said that everything that you need, you already have, it's like, yeah, man. God put everything that your purpose needs already inside of you. Yes. What we have to do is, like seeds, we got to go deep sometimes.
Yes.
Hit some dark areas sometimes. We got to break. We got to die to self in order for whatever it is to come to fruition. And I say, God, the sovereignty and the creativity of God is unmatched. Unmatched.
Yeah, definitely.
Unmatched. It's insane.
Definitely.
But anyway, I'm off my soapbox. So, if, as we do at the end of every episode, I leave with a two-part question. One, how did you learn to embrace yourself as an inimitable? And for those who are new, inimitable means something that is so unique it is impossible to duplicate. So, how did you learn to embrace your neurodivergent, neurospicy self? And then on the other end, if there was something that you could leave with the people to encourage the people, what would it be?
Okay, so my brain, I just like froze. Something. So how I came to just accept myself is I just let go. I have stopped questioning who I am and trying to please people. And once I cut out the people pleasing, it took care of mostly everything else. And I feel a lot better. I really do, because trying to please, I feel like people pleasing is like neck and neck with like perfectionism. And none of us are perfect, and you will burn yourself to the ground. Nothing but ashes left if you keep trying to do that, because you can't. You're not going to people. So now my favorite thing is to say, I give people permission to be disappointed in me, and I go on about my business. I go on about my business, because you can't please everyone. And something I would leave with the people is, I know it's like such a cliche thing to say, but just be yourself. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. People, I promise you, I know a lot of us, if you think like me, you focus on all the people that don't like you or have negative things to say. But I challenge you to focus on those ones who do like you. Even if you're not sure, be very sure that at least one person is watching you. It could be your child. It could be anybody. Somebody is looking up to you. You are important. You are necessary. You are so many things. That person is depending on you to keep going so that they can keep going. So just hang on and keep doing your thing. Don't worry about people, because people that are hateful and nasty, those ain't your people. They're not your people. And then meaning they're not your assignment. Let them be. Keep going. You cut them off mentally, emotionally. Don't even give them any more time, because that poor little seed that we just put in the ground, people like that will snatch it out, and we ain't got time for that. So just leave them there. Nope, they're like weeds. Spray them. Okay.
That was great. I love all of it. Well, that was an amazing episode. So I really hope that all of you guys got your pen and papers ready. And even if you didn't, this will be here so you can rewatch it. For those of you who are not watching this live, share it with some folks, because people need to hear this. Yes. Danielle talked about a lot about being a mom, about being a Black mother, being a mother of Black boys, being a neurodivergent with neurodivergent kids, and how life for her. And it happened in a way where she was like, you got two choices. Lay here and give up, show up. And she decided to show up. Period. Because she showed up, she is a doctor. She is a business owner. Hair care products. I might have to reach out to you to get some. And she's in the process of building a micro school. Like, come on. When you give God a yes, y'all. Yeah. Even in the midst of a pain, you give him a yes. This is what happens. Beautiful, beautiful. So I have my announcement. This was just, the first episode of a double header. The next one will be Thursday. I will have Christy Ocean, formerly Ocean. Now she's Callaway. From all the way Junction City, Kansas. Nice. Love it. I love my Kansas folks. Hey, Junction City. Hey. Y'all come back 7 o'clock Thursday. Danielle, Miss Ma'am, you did amazing. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you and all the pearls of wisdom. And if you need another neurospicy person to talk to, you hit me up.
I sure will.
Because we got some work to do. Anyway, y'all, I love you guys. Please feel free to share this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And we will see each other again Thursday. This Thursday. Yes. Like 2 days from now. Be there, y'all. Be there. Thursday 7 p.m. Be there. Bye. Bye.